Welcome to Happy Hour Holidays, your go-to podcast for business, entrepreneurship, and life stories. Today, you need to wake up and not be satisfied. Make sure that you continue to work on that dream because once you hit it, you're going to be on top of the world. Today in studio, we got your host every single week, Manny Fresh. We got the resume, Sean Fabre, in studio as the co-host. And today we got an actress. We got Amanda Brown in studio, and she is up and coming and ready to take over the world. Amanda, so tell us a little bit of what sparked the interest in acting, starting off when you were younger.
A good question. I feel like I've analyzed this a lot since I started doing it. But my first theater show was The Wizard of Oz, and I played a munchkin.
Oh my God.
And I just remember I was 8 years old, and I just remember like having the best feeling. Like it really, one, boosted my self-confidence as a kid because, you know, you got to get on stage and you got to like sing and dance and act at the same time. And you're like, what is this? Because you don't do any of those things really naturally, you know? So once I started doing that, I had this realization. I just loved the collaboration and the creativity behind it and stuff. And I just remember it was the best feeling. And I just kind of carried that throughout the rest of my life and wanted to pursue something in theater, or I was like, I've just always been like a creative, an artist, so to speak.
It sounds like you started at a young age. Did you also do like drama in high school as well? Or?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah. Good question. I did drama. So whenever there's like an elective that you could pick, you know how in high school you could like pick the electives?
Yeah.
If there's ever like a drama or like a music or like a theater, I always kind of went for that. I noticed, still did my normal classes, but I really was always interested in that. Even in like, this is stupid, but like in literature class, whenever we like dive deep into like a text, I'd be like, wow, this is so cool. Like finding the deeper meaning of things and like really like analyzing things. I loved it. Yeah. So
how did you prepare yourself? Like, let's just say you're an 8-year-old and you got all these people about to watch you.
Yeah.
Even like maybe subconsciously you didn't really notice it, but how did you prepare yourself, or how do you prepare yourself when you got to do something in front of people?
Right.
Or in front of a camera.
Yeah. I guess the process is different and similar for, you know, as I'm an 8-year-old and now older. Yeah. But as an 8-year-old, I think you're like a lot more fearless and you don't really care as much. You know, I've always intuitively been like a introvert. So it definitely brought me out of my shell and I realized I just kind of blossomed on stage. But to prepare really was just rehearsal and kind of just like I would rehearse every weekend like as a kid instead of going to like soccer practice like other kids did. Like I was at theater, you know, and just like working on the next show and you know I just made the best of friends too. So it was like being with people who support you as well, and I think that speaks for any type of, you know, thing in life. As long as you're with people who support you, you'll find that confidence.
Did you decide to pursue it further after high school, like go to college for theater or?
Right. So that's kind of where I got a little nervous and I was just like, this is not realistic. Like I cannot do this.
That's that negative self-talk. People don't say that to yourself. You can do anything.
Right. You can. But at the time I was a little afraid. My mom is, she's very traditional. You know, she's like, go the nursing route. So I did end up pursuing my bachelor's in healthcare in college. So very practical, but I did, like I said, I took electives that were related to theater. And I did, in high school, I did a musical as well. And then I did the dance team. So it's like I was kind of always like performing per se. And I always felt myself being myself in that realm.
Yeah.
And so once I got to college, I feel like I definitely disconnected with that, which is very dangerous at that age, I feel like, especially when you're like kind of trying to find yourself and like, I don't know, you're just so like molded by the world at that age that it could be hard to find yourself. So when you're disconnected from things that you like to do, it just kind of sets you in a spiral and like questioning a bunch of things, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. As soon as like you hit 18 and real life hits and you're like, oh shit, I need to get a job. Bro. I got to pay for bills. I can no longer go after my dream, but you still can, you know, you can go to that job and then afterwards go to like an improv class, right?
Right. I agree.
Do stuff like that?
It's all about the balance. Yes, I do. So right now I am in class.
Oh, cool.
We do like improv, we do scene study.
So it's an acting class.
It's an acting class. Yes, specifically. But I started taking acting class a year ago. So like immediately after I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I was like, I don't know if I want to go into the healthcare world just yet. So I just kind of took this leap of faith, and I talked with this acting coach here in Tampa, and she spoke to me about not only like getting in touch with your artist side, but also the business side. I think people are very shocked to realize like this is a business, and you are, investing in yourself in all types of ways, to get out there. It is so cutthroat.
Yeah.
If you don't have, especially if you don't have anybody that's already in the industry, networking for yourself and, investing money into classes and headshots and all these things that you don't learn if you don't get into class.
How much does the average class cost for that acting school that you go to?
So right now I pay about $300 for
Is that a month?
2 months.
2 months?
Or like 1.5 to 2 months.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So it's not bad. Once a week, and it's like a 3-hour class.
Once a week? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. So it's like $50 a week almost.
No.
25 a week?
I don't
We
know
don't know about the
math. She's
I was
an
gonna say,
actress.
that's not my forte. I chose acting
But
for
it's
a
a good
reason.
investment. Would you say ever since day one that you started with this acting coach to now, if you want to shout out your acting coach, I don't know, till now, have you made an
Yes.
improvement on your acting skills?
Yes, I definitely have. My acting coach is Eugenie Bondurant at Station 12 Studio. It's at Greenlight Cinema in St. Petersburg. But yes, I feel like I've just definitely gotten comfortable with, on-screen acting as well as like diving into a character. Acting class is crazy. Y'all should take one sometime because they're very open to anybody who, you don't have to be an actor to take it per se, but some people literally are in there just for fun.
Yeah.
They do not plan on like pursuing it as a career. I think you find that mostly in Florida. You go to LA, people are not taking acting classes for fun.
Oh, yeah,
They're like,
they
I'm
take-
here to,
to
but there it's more of like a very relaxed environment, and I love it. I just feel like I have sharpened up my skills in class, and honestly, it's the community too.
Yeah.
Like I go in there and people are like, oh, I just booked this commercial last week, or I just, I'm doing an indie film this week. So it's like, it's nice to be with people who are doing it, because it's really about who you surround yourself with, going back to that support system and stuff.
And you're having to actually make those connections, because what we found out just by doing this podcast, the more people that we connect with and network with, the more opportunities we gain for more access to individuals we wouldn't have otherwise met. So
Absolutely.
by doing that, going to that, that's the first step.
Yeah.
And you've actually been booked for commercials and also you said a feature
film.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So my first year in TV and film was last year when I started and took that leap of faith in January. I really started working in March because I wanted to get my skills down, because going from theater to TV and film is very different.
Yeah.
You got to tone everything down, and it's just very minimal and basically subtleness, And so I started in student films, and then I had this audition. I just submitted it. That's kind of how it is. You just submit an audition and see if you hear back.
What's it?
Just goes into the void,
What's the submission consist of? Is it just like a highlight reel?
No, actually. So it's like the breakdown of the role. It gives you all the information. So it's where it shoots, what's the character, how much it pays, is it non-union versus union, which means like SAG. I don't know if you guys have heard of the union for that.
Screen Actors Guild Award?
Correct.
Screen Actors Guild.
Yes, correct. That's like the union, or they'll have like non-union. Right now there's a lot of non-union because of the strike and stuff that happened. But yeah, that's what's in the breakdown, as well as, like the dates. So it gives you all the information. Yeah. So basically you have to figure out for yourself too, if you're self-submitting, do I fit this role? Or sometimes you could even play with it. Like, could they possibly see me in this role, even though this is not, the character breakdown per se. But so you just kind of audition, and most of the time you'll submit for the character or the breakdown, and then they will bid to you and reach out to you and be like, okay, now we want you to audition. So it's like kind of a multiple step process
so
to even get into the room.
Are you submitting headshots as well with the application?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually don't submit any real acting? They have to pick you just based off your headshot?
No, you do. No, the audition doesn't. Is that like a video?
Correct.
You have to be called for an audition, right?
Correct as well. So it's kind of like a twofold thing. You can submit just headshots depending on what the project is, but they probably won't give you an audition if you just have headshots. So, and that's what's so important about building up your resume and all your, your portfolio basically. So I have a lot of clips that I'll submit now. I have a reel that's put together, but honestly, in this day and age, casting directors have such little attention span, not in a negative way, but because everybody has so much material too. So they're going, next, next. They're looking at your material and they're very quick with it. So right now, in this state of the industry, I just have like clips. So I'll have like, a 20-second clip of like a drama that I was in, or like a 20-second clip of a comedy I was in, or like different roles as well, So you submit those with your headshots and your resume as well. So that's kind of like the whole package to submit to a breakdown.
So how'd you get into your first actual job? Because I mean, you had nothing on your resume, right? Well, actually, you had 8th grade and you had drama in high school.
Yeah.
No, but that still counts more.
No, you don't put that, right?
No, you don't put that on there?
No. I mean,
so what did you put on your resume then? The first one to get your first job? Because most people don't know how to break into it. So what kind of advice can you give to actually break into it if you have no resume?
Right. This is so true because that's exactly where I was. Like, don't put your high school stuff on there. I mean, you can explain it to people at, your studio and stuff, but honestly, student films and things that they aren't paid, right? Yeah. But you're going to get footage. You're going to get, especially for like, be cautious in the roles that you choose, because that could also be like footage that like you kind of didn't want or not show the best parts of you. But yeah, definitely like realizing what you could do, what kind of characters they're looking for their film. And student films are very good at like, they're students. So it's like they got to turn this in a month.
So what do you mean by student films? Like you go to a college and say, hey, I want to be in your film?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you don't physically have to go there. A lot of schools nowadays have like they're online. So it's like they've got Facebook groups for auditions and stuff. They're looking for, 70-year-olds who can play a grandma, like, and I'm sure, people are all over it. So there's just a bunch of Facebook groups. Yeah, there's so many like online resources when it comes to these things. But yeah, any film school. I did a lot at Full Sail University in Orlando, and I have auditioned for some at University of Tampa and Valencia as well.
So UT would be like the closest one here.
Kinda, yeah. They're a little. I feel like they have their own little hub of people that they pick from. Because I haven't heard anything back from them yet. But I would say, when you have from zero, student films are the best thing to do. Yeah. And also, it's just being on set is such a learning experience. Like, I remember like a year ago, I watched so many YouTube videos on like how to kind of prepare myself for this. Yeah. And really, it's just like all about real life experience, like getting out there and doing it, all these like terms that they throw out to you on set. It's like you have to figure it out.
Can't be like, what does that mean?
Like if someone's screaming points at you and you're just like, what? And they're coming in with these big like, set things and you got to watch out, basically. I learned that the hard way. I was like, oh, duck. Was there? Yeah. So it's just like doing, I guess, even if things aren't paid at first, kind of putting your ego aside about that. And it's just like investing, in yourself. You're starting from zero, so, and then the students are also learning. So it's like they're learning how to work with actors, so it's really a great experience when you're in the beginning phase of this.
So have you ever done an indie film?
An indie film I have not done.
And those are usually also the same, right? They're unpaid, I believe.
Yeah, typically.
Unless you're like...
Typically unpaid and non-union. I mean, maybe not always non-union, but
could that be another way to break into the film industry?
Yeah,
absolutely. The acting industry? Because, I mean, those people actually know what they're doing, right? They're just looking to break in as a director or producer or whatever, so they see these group of people with, nominal experience, and then they're like, okay, well, we need someone who wants to work for free but wants to build their resume. Let's go look for this actor or actress.
Right.
I mean, is there a lot of those here in Florida, at least?
I feel like I haven't really found that many. No. There are a lot of independent filmmakers in Florida, yes. No. But I think like getting casted on those are very difficult in my experience, because even if I look on like Facebook groups, it'll be like they posted it one day and they've casted it that same day. So it's like you've got to be on the ball. Yeah. So it's like...
So they're getting like probably hundreds of auditions. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Especially because... Florida's not the biggest hub for it, so it's like people are waiting.
Yeah, they're just like something comes up. I got it. Exactly. Probably refresh all the time.
And there's probably a million people wanting to act too. Well, I wouldn't say a million. There's only 23 million people in Florida, but I mean, shit. If anything, your best opportunity is in Florida, or what we were talking about, because Los Angeles got ravaged by these fires. That now people are probably going to move over to the East Coast, like New York or Atlanta. to start filming.
Yes, exactly. I feel like there's a lot of people moving out of Hollywood per se, or Hollywood is moving. You know, I read all these articles and listen to these podcasts about it. And honestly, like, I wouldn't want to live in LA personally, so I'm not upset about it. But I do think the industry is changing in that aspect. There's a lot filming in Atlanta. There's a lot of even like, you know, acting coaches. And ever since COVID, the whole world is different as well. Like, I only this past year have gotten like one audition in person. And that was a callback. So it's like you can't even get into the room if your audition isn't good per se, you know.
So you have to do
Not
like
always,
a Zoom audition.
Yeah.
That's a
Basically.
little weird.
Isn't it?
It is so strange.
Yeah, it's strange
And
because you
it's
see
a
like
big
faces.
topic.
Is it like? I mean, you would rather do it in person, right?
Um,
Or not really?
No,
It depends.
No?
I don't know. I really like to be able to just like self-tape my audition,
And
you
then
know,
send it,
and
right?
then send it, and I'm like, if they're interested, they'll get back, and I just go about my day.
Don't
The
you
work-life balance is better.
But you said it best earlier in the podcast. You said that they have so much content to go through that they're only looking at a few minutes, if that, and then going next.
Right.
If you have them right in front of you, you could take their time and actually force them to see, okay, well, this is actually a good actress or actor.
Yeah.
And Zoom, I don't know. So have you done a Zoom audition?
I have.
Is a Zoom audition where you act into the Zoom camera?
Yeah.
See, I feel
It's
like
so
that's
strange.
It is because it's a lag, right? It's
Yes.
a lag between what you're seeing, what they're hearing. But if in person, they're seeing it in real time and they can capture whatever emotion you're throwing out there.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I think even now, they even have like workshops nowadays where it's like how to do a Zoom callback, because so many actors have gone from like, being in the room and being like, letting them know your personality and just feeling that presence, right? To like this on-screen thing where it's like, it's so weird because it's a different skill set, auditioning, than like acting. And but this is like your first foot in the door for this project, so you want to make a good impression. So it's already a little nerve-wracking. And then you've got, sometimes there's like, you know, technical errors, and I'm like, and so like you kind of get into it, and then you know, it's
Wi-Fi
frozen.
cuts out. And then they're like,
Exactly. I
you
mean,
can hear them. They're
that hasn't
talking
happened to me
shit,
yet,
and
but
then you can't see them. No.
No, literally. I remember one time I did a callback, and then they're like, "Thank you," like, "All right, have a great day. We'll let you know." And I was like, "Thank you." It's like, "Oh, period. I can go on with my day now. Like, this is so great." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, they did not leave yet." Luckily, it wasn't like talking shit, but I was like, "Oh my god, they definitely heard everything I just said."
What'd you say?
I was just like, "Oh, period. It's over." Like, because I, you know, just more of
You
like
were
a
still
relief.
acting though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was still acting. I was just acting out
for
this
this
way.
commercial. I had to look at the lights. Like, that's literally what it was. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely a different skill set, and luckily I was thrown into it when it has already been so online. I feel bad for the actors who have been in the room and kind of know that process. And now not only are you the actor, but you are, you know, the director, you're the producer, you're lights person, like you're everything in your own little studio.
Shit, I didn't
you know,
even think about that.
Exactly. So you're thinking about framing. All these breakdowns, they have specific framing, whether it's like your chest to your head or your waist to your head. So it's like you're sitting, at least I do. I'm sitting there like fixing my framing for like 10 minutes before I can even act, you know?
Wow.
So it's not even getting to the acting just yet. It's very like, it's all parts.
Are you doing it with a camera, or are you doing it with just the camera on your laptop? What's your setup look like?
My setup is I have like this ring light, and I put my phone on there. I just use my phone for auditions for right now. Your phone is a very good resource. You know, it's got a beautiful camera. So it's like, you know, you don't need anything fancy just yet. I have a couple like soft light boxes, and then I have a microphone. You know, they always want good sound.
Yeah.
So very basic.
Nothing
fancy.
Yeah. And then you connect all that to the computer, and
Correct.
that's what they're seeing, right?
Yes.
So what kind of microphone are you using? A boom mic or a long range mic?
I use like a lav mic.
Where you, okay, so one that you clip on.
Yes.
And they can see that though, right?
Most of the time I try to hide it.
Yeah.
Because that can be distracting. I don't want anything to distract from my performance.
Yeah.
But if they see it, there's
Yeah,
understanding. You know, like it's like, you're at home. There's only so many things you could do.
I was wondering, do you ever think about, you know, like a lot of these, I mean, I would say social media influencers, they do like skits on their social media. I mean, is that a good way to like kind of, you know, I mean, even if if you have all the equipment, it almost makes sense to kind of do skits all the time.
Yes.
Because I mean, I feel like that's a lot of like additions that you can send in. I mean, if it's like anything else, you're just sitting there filming and just acting. I mean, I would just do a lot of those.
We've done one
Exactly.
before.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
You have done skits?
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, we used to love doing those, man. They were a lot of fun. I mean,
Oh my
yeah, it's
gosh.
always been fun to do those.
I remember me and my sister would do that too, actually. Now I think about it, I feel like it's just like a thing
Yeah,
people
it's just
do.
like a thing. It's just like doing skits.
It's fun,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Well, we would
have fun with it.
we would recreate scenes of previous movies
yeah.
as a parody for our shout out for Brave Frameworks for our business that we run primarily, and make it real estate photography related. Like we did a training day one, we did Glenn Ross, and I See Dead People one.
Okay. See, that's so cool. I think that's definitely, especially when you don't really have much to show for your acting, I think that's something you should definitely do, you know, or like, especially just doing this, getting experience in front of the camera. You know, it's not a natural thing to have a camera in front of your face all the time. So the more comfortable you're with it, I think the better. I know I was on a job and I met this girl who like is an influencer, and she does like the what is it called when they dress up and they like
cosplay?
Yes. Sorry, I was gonna say role play, but I know that's different, right? Okay. But yeah, she does cosplay, and she got like signed by my agency like with that. You know, so it's like she had a following, she built her thing, and they were like, yeah, like you'd be great for like voice acting. She was telling me that they kind of want her for, so
that's what I feel like now with acting. I mean, you have so many ways to really break through than the traditional ways, especially with social media. So when we get back with Happy Hour Holidays, we'll continue with Amanda Brown and talking a little bit more about her acting career. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate all the fans out there listening to our podcast. We appreciate you, and we'll keep bringing good content your way. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back with Happy Hour Holidays here with your host every single week, Manny Fresh in the resume. We got Amanda Brown in studio. So Amanda, tell us about what's your dream. Is it a series? Is it a feature movie? What would you like to be? Because I've seen the series. Let's just think about the Big Bang Theory. Those fucking people are worth like
an episode,
$100 million. We're talking about Sheldon. You know, it's not a feature film. I think
but they were all getting $1 million an episode.
But watching Entourage, you know, I love Entourage. It's one of my favorites. So I kind of know the movie industry from that. That's where, and I've watched that. I started
that one a little bit.
Dude, it's like, it kind of goes, Ari Gold is the fucking man. I wish I was him. But no, I mean, literally you see that people technically like the series, like if you don't want to be in a series if you've done features, like it's like going backwards. But at the same time, those series, I mean, you're the same character, but you're making so much fucking money off reoccurring revenue.
I like that, but also only series by these major like HBO, you know, maybe AMC. Like when you start doing NCIS, I don't know. I feel like that's because Entourage was HBO, right?
Yeah, HBO. Yeah.
So to back to his question, I mean, series or
feature or what's your end goal in acting?
My end goal, I would say it's a series regular.
Yeah, series regular. That would be
comedy, drama, crime.
One of my favorite shows is Modern Family. So I always say, like, if that was like a show I could have been on, comedy, Modern Family. But also, like, Game of Thrones, loved that show. So honestly, I would kind of take anything, I guess. But
I'm not gonna be picky right now.
Anything to be a series regular. But so that's kind of the end goal of it.
Yeah.
And this sounds like, you know, very whatever, but just to be happy with it as well. To have a work-life balance with it would be great. Like if I'm not a series regular, but I have like a life outside of it. I'm not like chasing fame with this either.
Yeah.
I think it's another thing when I approach this or like tell people about it, they're like, oh, like you just want to be famous. Blah, 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 blah.
It's refreshing.
I'm like, actually,
block those people out.
I know. That's why I don't tell as many people anymore.
Yeah.
But I actually would really not want to be famous. If it comes with it, with the acting, then...
But you're screwed. You're going to be famous.
Then I'm just screwed.
Yeah, you're going to be famous regardless.
Then it just happens.
Yeah.
But it's not what I'm chasing. It's more so, the end goal would be... Marvel too.
Yes.
Marvel.
Yeah,
I like that. I like the X-Men.
Not many series in Marvel. I mean, just a couple, but they get shut down after a season or two.
Yeah.
I think only Loki
really
lasted 2
long-standing.
seasons. I mean, if you're doing it to be passionate, I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think also you can't go with that mindset in this industry. They always say, like, if you could do anything else besides acting, do it. Because people literally are like, I'm telling you, don't do it. don't do it.
Well,
and I know it's like discouraging, but if you can get through that hump of people telling you don't do it and you're still wanting to do it, then obviously it's meant for you, you know, in a way.
My advice is at the end of the day, who is paying your bills? It's not the people's opinions that are paying your bills. At the end of the day, you are. So whatever you want to do and whatever makes you happy is what you have to do. Fuck all the naysayers because they can't picture themselves where you want to be. So you should never take advice from those people.
Yes.
Ever.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can even get a read on people immediately, especially as like being a server and like the industry that I work in, I can get a read on people pretty quickly. And like, I don't think I'd ever tell you like what I'm actually trying to do. Cause you know, I get regulars that are like, oh, you graduated. Like, what do you want to do now? I'm like, I don't know. You know, just kind of protecting that peace and honestly never telling people what you are into until it's actually out and you can confirm that you're in it, because I hear these stories about how like people, you know, they watch a premiere with their family and they ended up being cut out of the movie. Or
I've
like,
heard that.
you know? Yeah. So it's like also that's kind of why you have to be very cautious and like, yeah, you got the role, but did you make the final good? Who knows? I mean, that hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm sure it will someday. It's just like these things you go through.
It will not happen. You got to tell yourself that.
Yes.
It will not happen.
It will not happen to me.
Yeah.
It's manifesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Positivity is.
And that, you know, that's the thing we were talking off camera. It's not, you know, when your mom was telling you, hey, you got to do nursing, not you got to, but, you know, you should do something like that. And I heard, you know, Denzel say it. He goes, you don't need anything to fall back on. When you're prophesizing something, and let's say you say, I'm never make this shot, or I always miss this thing, you're prophesizing it. And what happens is it happens. And then you go, why did it happen? It's because you already said it.
Yeah.
It's the law of attraction.
Yeah. So you have to tell yourself, hey, this is what's going to happen. I don't need to fall back. Now, it's great to have it, but at the same time, if you're really chasing that dream, you know, you can't.
You got to give 100%
towards it. And I mean, you're going to have sleepless nights, whatever it is, but that's the way it is. And I feel like sometimes parents just trying to be,
they don't understand.
Good for you. But
You're
at the same time.
Right? I'm half Filipino, half white. A lot of people think I'm Spanish.
Okay,
but you know what's good is
Spanish and Filipino parents are the same.
Yeah, it's good that I look, you know, different and like mixed, because I could play like a lot of different roles. As like my agents tell me, I'm ethnically ambiguous, which is a lot of breakdowns nowadays. It's like they're not really looking for somebody who's so categorically white or black or etc. But you know, you look mixed. Like normal people do nowadays. You know, it's very normal.
So you have an agent.
I do.
How did you acquire that agent, or did she acquire you?
I acquired the agent,
or he or she or
self
whoever.
Submission. Yeah, I have 3 agents. At the one agency. Yeah, so they're like under one agency, but I have like 3 specific agents. So I'm signed with them commercially and
you want to shout out the agents? Or?
Yes, Level Talent Group, Kelly, Katie, and Brittany. Love you guys. They work so hard, and it's just an amazing agency to be with. As my first one, especially because
are they out of
they've just
Florida?
They're Tampa.
Tampa, oh shit.
They work so hard, and it's just nice to be with an agency that kind of, you know, just takes you under their wing. And, you know, if you have any questions, like they're always there for you. And, you know, I've heard some stories about agencies who are not. So I'm really glad that I picked the one that, you know, is going to help me along my journey and just kind of building a relationship as well.
Do they suggest what you should or should not audition for, or do they say audition for everything, or how's that go with an agency?
So what they do is they will submit you for jobs that they think you fit, or that like casting directors will pick you for. Like they'll never put you up for a job that they don't think you could get. You know what I mean? They're not going to send you blindly into something that, you know, they're like, oh, you can't book this, because that's kind of setting you up for failure. So it's like, and really the way they make money is if we make money. So.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, because they're not going to set you up for failure because they want to make money as well.
Exactly.
While also helping you reach your goal.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And then the Florida industry is so like small when it comes to like commercial work and like casting. You know, we got Disney, we got Universal. Like the people who cast these commercials are the same people over and over again. So it's like they're not going to, you know, like kind of send you off to them for like so many different roles, because then that kind of is like, do they know her, or, you know, does she know what she wants out of certain commercial work, I guess, you know, so.
So have they only been trying to go after film, or have they also been going after theater? Because, I mean, the Strass Center's right there, and they host plays there.
Oh, true.
If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if they
either
represent
that
people
or
for
the
theater.
Florida Theater.
Yeah.
Or no, the Tampa Theater.
Tampa Theater,
There you
yeah.
go. That's the one I was
I
thinking
don't know if
about.
they represent people for like theater, like musicals. When I said theatrical, I mean like TV and film.
Oh,
So like
okay.
those are different realms. I'm not sure if they do, but I would look into that. But I'm sure they do because they cross lanes
Well,
pretty
you
frequently.
have done that before.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
That's like my background. I wouldn't go back to doing musicals at this age just because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You're putting like months and months into, a production for it to show for a couple weekends, at least here. If you're on Broadway, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But like at least here in this industry, in this hub. But so I'm represented by them with TV and film and commercial work.
What's the typical casting character that you play?
It's usually like a high schooler, even though I'm not in high school, which is really nice. I look younger for my age, so yeah, I feel like I'm typecast as high school age or college age, and so far I've kind of done like romantic lead or like daughter, student, yeah, just a lot of things that kind of fit me, I guess.
Well, I was about to say, if you think about it, you've gone through life. You've been a student in high school. You've been a student in college. So playing those roles should actually come naturally to you.
They do. Yes, exactly. So I feel like I definitely feel I can grasp a character that identifies with those things. So when they told me that they would send me on things for that specifically, I'm like, good. I'm glad we're on the same page because I cannot see, myself as like a single mom of 4. No hate to that. I don't think I like look like that or sound like that just yet. But then again,
damn, you must have had them all at 14.
Yeah, right. But then again, it's like, acting, you should take things, just to try them and challenge yourself. Yeah. So, if I needed to do it for a role, I would play it to the best of my capability.
I feel like a lot of actors are like kind of typecast, like
Samuel L. Jackson.
They're a little bit of themselves in the character.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like, and that's what people pay for. Like Ryan Reynolds, every time he's like the clever guy,
smart
ass, smart ass, whatever. When you do any characters, do you feel like you have a little bit of yourself in the character? Some of your
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I'm a natural empath. Yeah. And so I feel like I already like step into people's shoes or like see what it's like through their eyes. Obviously can't feel it fully, but I try to, step in that character's shoes and I really feel the feelings and I'm very, I can access those feelings pretty quickly. Yeah. I think that's important in this industry as well. Like if you're, very cold-hearted and you can't learn to empathize with people, I don't think this is the industry for you, or like you shouldn't really pursue that. If you're trying to portray a person, and the human experience is so complex that if you, not saying you have to experience all these things, but if you don't know how to, get angry,
feel sad,
like I would say that's like my weakest point is getting angry because I'm not a very angry person.
Honestly, so after you're talking right now, I couldn't really see you angry.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
So that's like
but then
what
the
I've been
monster
working
comes
on.
out. You got to watch out with those.
Yeah, I do have a good on-set like scream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't practice, but I had to do it once on set, and then the director was like, "That was so good. Like I actually felt like you were, struggling and in pain." I was like, "Thank you." I've been working on that my whole life.
So that's another thing.
When you're practicing that screen, what do the neighbors say? Oh my God, we got to call the cops.
You know what?
She's being killed.
Yeah, right? You would think I practice it, but it's so funny. I actually practice how I look doing it. I do it silent at home in the mirror. It looks psychotic, but I think it's like, I don't know. I practice like, obviously you have to, fuck it on set. You got to commit or it's shit. Yeah. So they say. But I do practice like what I look like while I'm screaming. And I'm like, does it look horror? Does it look sad? Does it look scary? Like, what am I looking like? Because you have to portray the emotions properly as well.
Yeah, because the mirror is like really important with acting because what you were talking about. I mean, really, you got to be able to flip the switch from angry to sad. And you got to know your emotions.
Yes.
That's
the only one I couldn't be able to do is like cry. That's like the hardest one.
Yeah, that one's tough.
That was tough.
I feel like it's tough because not that I like can't cry on cue, but it's more so like you're in the hustle and bustle of like, okay, you know, we're 5 minutes behind on schedule. You need to do this right now. Like in the script, it says to cry. So like you have to have that one tear. Like it's always that pressure. And not that that's like happened, but you know, you're always on set with different people. So if a director's telling you to like, you need to cry here, it's like, okay, yeah, you feel a little more pressure. I'm like, okay, what if the cries don't come? Like the tears aren't there.
I always think about Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah,
hey, didn't you have like a dog that died or something?
Yeah.
If he cries, you cry harder, man.
Yeah.
Right. It's like all these situations, and you know, you just got to learn that, like, you know, what's a situation that you were really upset or you were angry or you were like so happy.
So
like,
everything's got to refer back to is what the key is. Refer back to a memory and then gain that emotion back from that memory as if you were reliving it.
Definitely. That's like,
is that what
that's
it
definitely,
is?
oh, sorry, excuse me. My dad's calling me. Sorry.
She said her dog was calling her.
I said my dad.
I was like,
yeah, my dog's calling me. I actually gotta go.
I gotta go.
He told me I gotta be home. Yeah, but back to what you're saying, it's definitely how you study acting too. There's different methods and different ways. But yeah, that would be more so emotional recall, I guess, is kind of putting yourself in a moment of like, when did you lose somebody? How did you feel when you were grieving, et cetera, et cetera. So this is how this character is feeling. And yeah, just relating it to your own life.
You think method acting is taking it a step too far, kind of like Jared Leto? He kind of overtakes the role and doesn't stop until it's done.
You know,
like what I heard when they were filming Suicide Squad, and I know I don't want you to have to trash any actors or anything. Will Smith said that he would receive like dead fish in his trailer from Jared Leto because he wouldn't stop playing the Joker, and he was like, bro, that shit would freak me out to the point where I'd have to tell him, yo, you better stop or I'm gonna knock you out.
Right.
I feel like some people take it too far. Heath Ledger was also a method actor, and he committed suicide right after playing the Joker. You know what? Maybe the Joker is just...
It wasn't the Joker.
It was the Joker.
No, it was Brokeback Mountain into the Joker.
Oh.
Right. I completely forgot about
that. Right? You go from...
Oh, wait, was it actually?
Yeah.
From that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was
No, it was.
But I think a mixture of like, you know...
it was after The Dark Knight. It was after The Dark Knight where he played the Joker, but the movie before
was Brokeback
Mountain. So he had to play, you know, a gay dude, and then he had to play a sadistic psychopath.
So going from that role to that role.
Yes.
But he was method acting. So the entire time, his mentality, did he ever take a time in between where he just was Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Because you hear about a lot of actors ODing on drugs and shit. I mean...
Yeah, definitely. No, that's like a real thing. Yeah. I think, you know, that's totally not healthy, obviously. Now, I feel like there's different ways about going with method acting, I guess. And it's like, that's an extreme. I don't think method is bad in a way that like, you want to be... Off. Yes, you want to be in a like safe mental space when you get home, you know, but if you can't do that, I think maybe you should try another method, but you know, if you're that deep into it,
pun intended.
No, literally.
Who would you say is your favorite top 5 in no particular order, top 5 actors and actresses? I'll name mine. Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, Christian Bale, and Tom Hardy.
Oh my gosh.
In no particular order, my top 5.
That was a really good top 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal Margot Robbie from yours. Bradley Cooper. Zoe Saldana.
Okay. Hey, this is her
questionable.
Choice. Well, she's a great actress, but she's always typecast as the badass.
You think?
Colombia.
You know?
The Colombiana, Lioness. Guardians of the Galaxy, she's always a badass. I've never seen her play anything other than a badass.
Lioness, have you watched it though?
Yeah, I've watched season 1 and 2.
I feel like there's a lot of vulnerability there though. Yeah. You know, she's like there's a lot of pockets of beautiful.
She goes from badass to crying when she's with her family.
I feel like I've never seen her in that role either. Yeah, there's definitely range there. Yeah. But
I like it still.
Top 5 is hard.
No, but in no particular order. So
that was
Margot
so quick.
Robbie.
I mean, like I'm like thinking.
Yeah, that was fast. Like you were ready for that question.
Well,
you're asking yourself that question.
I was because
he was like, okay, let me do it.
let me talk.
Because the reason is because I watch a shit ton of movies and TV shows, and I've watched like anything you could think of that makes any sense. And I've seen so many that I've seen a lot of bad acting and I've seen a lot of good acting. And those are the 5 with the most range. Margot Robbie can play Barbie, or she can play fucking the chick from Wolf of Wall Street, or she could play the one from Focus. Yeah. I mean, she's got range like crazy. And then there was also another one where she was in The Big Short, where she was just talking in a bathtub, sipping, champagne, where she was playing Margot Robbie.
Right.
And it's like, holy cow, she's amazing when it comes to range.
She has great range.
All right, so I stopped you. So you got 2 of your 5.
Yeah.
So you have Margot.
And then I had Margot.
Zoe.
Bradley Cooper. I love Bradley Cooper.
Oh, yeah, Bradley Cooper.
He's in mine.
Yeah, I completely forgot about
that. I love Bradley, Leonardo.
So you got 2 more.
Zoe Saldana. And I think because of my age, I've always looked up to Zendaya.
Okay,
she's kind of
she is good.
She
is really good.
maybe she is typecast.
No,
but
she's not.
You don't think so?
I don't think she is.
Well,
Did you watch Challengers?
Challengers. That was out of her box. Yeah. But she did great with that.
And then you got one more.
Oh my gosh, this is so tough.
How can you not say Leonardo DiCaprio?
I don't know. Maybe it's just different time.
Yeah,
I don't know. William Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like super random, but like
Willem.
Willem? Is it
Willem?
Willem. Stop.
It's not William, it's Willem.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Willem Dafoe's awesome.
He's so great.
He was in John Wick, Spider-Man. He was in so many movies.
Yeah.
Who's your top 5?
I got Leonardo DiCaprio, Bradley Cooper. I mean, I like Denzel's movies.
Oh shit, I completely forgot about that.
But he's kind of typecast. He's always a badass. I like Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is 3?
Yeah.
Or is Denzel
4?
3?
It's 4.
4.
Yeah, it's 4. And
then
I would say, I don't know. Andrew Dice Clay.
I don't even know who that is.
Because he was banned from Hollywood. That's why. After one movie, he was banned from Hollywood.
What was the movie?
Ford Fairlane.
Ford Fairlane.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
He did some other movie. This is old.
Okay.
It was from the 80s.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
Nice. What's he up to now?
No, yeah.
He does comic stand-up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it's interesting that you guys say like, oh, he's typecast, when really a lot of being typecast propels people's careers.
No, for sure. It's good good if they like that character, but at the same time, and I think what he was saying with the range, like, Leonardo DiCaprio can play so many different roles.
That's what makes him a good
that's
actor.
what makes him good. And then Margot, Robbie, she does a whole bunch, but it's not their fault that they're typecast because they make money. That's the goal, is to get parts. But, I just like to see a little bit of, range. Difference. Like Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell plays the same fucking guy every single movie.
And he's hilarious.
And Mark Wahlberg, I forgot to mention him, but he plays kind of like a similar role too here and there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, and when it gets to that, a lot of these people, they fit one character, and somebody makes a movie and they're like, it would be cool to have this character from this movie or from wherever to put in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not a bad thing because you're making money, and that's the end goal. It's like you want to make money with something that you love doing, but at the same time, it's just like, we'll be right back with Happy Hour Holidays. We kind of got a little bit away on the time. We'll be right back. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. Welcome back to Happy Hour Holidays. And as we were continuing the talk about these typecasting actors and all that kind of stuff, and who are the top 5, we were just kind of talking about range, how these actors can play different characters, because a lot of times you feel like they're just playing the same character in different movies, which isn't a bad thing because you get paid, right?
Right.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson is the highest ever accumulated paid actor in Hollywood, and he attributes that to playing the same role in every single movie that he ever plays. And he said he's okay with it because he doesn't need any awards in order to do what he loves, and he loves acting. So typecast isn't horrible. Remember that Seinfeld where Kramer was?
Oh, yeah.
They typecasted me.
They typecasted me. I got gonorrhea again. That's one of my favorite. The Office.
I've never seen that show.
The Office.
Seinfeld?
And Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is
from
what
the 90s.
Yeah, Seinfeld is what boosted TV show characters' salaries to an astronomical level. Him, Julia, what the fuck? What's her name? The lady that plays
play?
Yeah, I know,
Valentina,
Julia, whatever. I
in,
don't know.
yeah, Defro or something like that.
Everybody knows who the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
from the 90s.
Yeah, the one from the 90s. So
Amanda's over here is like,
Well,
who the
I
fuck
know
are
the
you?
show. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
like seen it.
Yeah, I never seen it.
Yeah.
I think it's good though. I mean,
so then the Friends cast with, Ross, Rachel, and all those people, they started making $1 million an episode. Then you get into the Big Bang Theory, they start making $1 million an episode. So now anytime you have a hit TV show, you're making $1 million an episode. Only if it's a
that'd be
hit.
fucking nice, bro.
I know.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being a
Insane.
regular on a TV show and that runs for shit, I don't know, 15 seasons, you're talking about a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Well, let's talk
Yes.
about something that is a little bit concerning for the movie, the movie industry, is
Yeah.
AI. How they're
Yes.
generating,
That is
full-size
scary.
movies. It's kind of scary because are they even going to need people or are they just going to need their face, to
Yeah.
put into the movie, which is kind of scary for all. That's what they were doing with Hollywood too, that they were having issues because they were like, we're just going to scan you one time and then you're good to go.
Then can
Are
do
you
the whole
talking
movie.
about the
Yeah.
Fall
It's
Guy?
insane.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about this actually
No,
happened.
like AI. Like
Yeah.
that's why we're on strike partly
Yeah.
as well because
I can tell you this, that writers will eventually be using AI to better their writing, and then eventually writers are gone. But I still think you always need actors. Now, will CGI get to the point where
That's what they're saying. They're
where-
scanning you and then that's it.
where all they have to do is scan? And this is part of the movie Fall Guy. I don't know if you ever watched. Did you watch Fall Guy?
I love that movie.
So that's what they did
good.
with Ryan Gosling, right?
Mhm.
As the Fall Guy, they scanned his face, they uploaded it into some imagery and the security camera
I think I
into
did
frame
see
a
it.
murder on him. Remember?
Yes.
Which, spoiler alert, he didn't
He
do.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
What?
Spoiler.
So that technology is already there. All they have to
Exactly.
do is put dots on you
Yeah.
and scan you, and then somebody else can do it.
Yeah.
But now
I
they
mean-
don't have to pay you as much if they only have to scan you one
They're
time.
using your name, image, and likeness, bro. It's just like
Correct.
the NCAA. Name, image, and likeness. People aren't going to the movies to go see somebody who's made up. They're going to go see the actor, the person who's famous, the person that can act.
So if they just scan you, they can make you act any way they want. They're just using your face.
Correct.
Mm.
You know?
But you know what? I feel like after seeing how AI works, like when I'm scrolling, it's cool, but also like I'm like I could tell that was AI.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah,
tell
you
it
can
was
still
fake,
tell.
and I feel like nowadays people are craving human connection and just trying to relate. And I think once you see the AI and you can sense it, it's just like very off-putting.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you have a movie that uses a lot of CGI, it can get overwhelming to
It
where
does.
audiences don't actually react very well to it. They're like, that was actually like very borderline fake.
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
Except
So-
Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar was sick.
Yeah.
I love
Both of them.
Avatar.
Yeah,
Both of them.
but that's not like
Yes.
human. That's like some kind of weird
But that's
creature.
like an animated
Yeah,
world,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Well, but
it
still-
still looks real.
Did you
Mhm.
see the making of Avatar?
Yes.
Zoe Saldana and the
Mhm.
other dude, which I don't know his name, they
Mhm.
actually acted all out with dots all over their face.
Yeah.
And they still have to act, show the emotion, and then that is then translated into CGI to make the Navi.
Right.
For right now, until they don't
Yeah.
have to do that anymore.
Or are we gonna find an alien race that
Yeah,
looks
until
like
it's
that? Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that they can. Can't they just switch? They're doing the same thing, right? They put the dots and then they.
Well, just
switch
like Marvel,
That's
she
for-
brought up Marvel.
yeah.
So the dots are for facial expression.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what that is, in order to map what the character is feeling, but while the actor is still acting. They do the same thing with the Hulk, and
Mhm.
then they did the same thing with Thanos,
Mm.
and then they just had a head up here, so all the other actors were looking at the head up there, and then they
Yeah.
would just boom put them in. But the actor's still acting in the movie.
Gotcha.
It's not actually just being there, because it'd be much harder for somebody who doesn't know how to act to replicate those movements. Why do you think video games don't look like the movies?
Yeah, it's CGI, right?
It's CGI, bro.
But they will eventually.
They may. I mean,
Personally, I don't think I'd go see a movie that looks like a video game. I
For
don't think I'd
but
pay
for
for
right now,
a movie
until they
ticket.
make it look so fucking real, you won't know the difference.
Yeah. See, that's what's concerning. And
Yeah.
I think for people in the industry, like that's what they're protesting.
Yeah.
Is like, don't replace us because one, you can't, people won't like it as much.
Yeah.
You know, and in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, TV and movies have been around for not that long on the timeline of life, really.
1950s,
So it's like, right? So that wasn't even 100 years ago.
No.
So it's like, yes, it's changing, but when is it to we reject that much change?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
for
I feel
sure.
like it's just maybe advancing a little too much and too fast. And, you know, some people might like it.
But you've seen
But I
how
know.
but you've seen how fast technology has advanced since we've gotten to the cell phones.
Yeah.
To I mean, it's crazy.
I can tell you this to your point. There's an unpredictability with humans and human emotion that AI cannot replicate. They're not conscious. They're programmed. It is now. If AI becomes sentient, then there's a real problem.
iRobot.
That's a little scary.
Yeah,
iRobot.
Yeah,
iRobot.
Have you ever seen that movie with Will Smith?
Will Smith one where
I
now
thought you were
they're
talking about the Roomba.
now
like,
the
the
Roomba.
vacuums.
No.
I was like, yeah, is that your point? The
I
vacuums
forgot
in
that
our
was
houses?
iRobot was
No, that was Roomba.
Yeah,
iRobot was actual movie.
yeah.
It was like 2002 or something like that.
I feel like I've seen like the cover of that. There's like
Yeah.
a robot, like an actual mechanical like,
Yeah,
robot.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
got
Will
all-
Smith was in it, and
Yeah.
they made a whole bunch of robots to help you, on your day-to-day life, walk, whatever. And then one of the robots figured out how to
Think for itself.
and have emotion.
Oh gosh.
So now you're thinking,
That's
holy
crazy.
shit.
And that was what in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was early
Yeah.
2000s. They were
It's
already
like-
saying.
Manifesting.
I know. Because, I mean, Elon Musk says he's going to build a robot.
He's already got him.
Yeah, where it's going to be hey, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Wash
You
my
think?
dishes, clean my toilet, do all this shit.
Have you ever seen the movie
Alright.
Terminator?
Oh, yeah. Oh, then they revolt.
Yeah, exactly. And then they kill everybody. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, eventually it will happen. So
We're
just
Well,
watching this in
robots-
front of our
Yeah,
eyes right
right.
now. We're like, wait, maybe that's
Hey.
not a good idea. Yeah, it is crazy, the world of tech now.
Yeah.
I think it can be a beautiful addition to, the world of film and TV. But personally, I don't know if people will take it very well.
Yeah.
I think people want that, especially after COVID. I feel like we lost a lot of human connection and
Yeah.
just like belongingness and community. Where's the community anymore? And just
Yeah.
if you're a director and you're working with a computer, how fun is that on your day-to-day job?
Probably not that fun.
Probably not that fun,
no.
And yeah, maybe you said writers will be replaced. That could be.
I could see
you
that
know,
all day.
You
I-
think?
I can see that all day. Now I can't see actors being replaced for the only reason is because acting is improvised, man. Writers, they get paid to write, but the reason they went on strike is because of all these software companies like ChatGPT, like DeepSeek, that are taking over writing, and they're such. I mean, if we think about writing in Hollywood, and we think about what they have come up with that is new and
crap.
exciting, all they really do is they recycle the same material over and over again. We got 10 Fast and the Furious movies. We got 10 Mission Impossible movies.
You're so right. Oh,
We
there's
have
another one coming
34
out.
Yeah.
Marvel movies
Yeah.
that copied shit that was made by Stan Lee and the other guy, which I forget his name, from Marvel Comics.
Gunn, right?
Huh?
Gunn? James Gunn?
No.
Is he not part of?
No,
that's
No,
never
now
mind.
he's from DC, but I'm
Okay.
saying Stan Lee was the creator of Marvel Comics back in the 1960s. All Hollywood does is take what other people do and recycle it. They don't come up with any original ideas. What they may do is adapt it to screenplay. That's why you have that category in the Oscars. But overall, Hollywood writers are average, or else, I mean, shit,
I haven't really
they'd be
seen
better.
any. I haven't
The only
really-
person that I would give any credit to is George Lucas, and James Cameron. Those are the only original writers right now in Hollywood. Avatar completely made up. Completely made up.
But I haven't really seen
Star Wars completely made up.
But I haven't seen a movie that really captivated me like the ones back then. Like,
Which
You-
movie
you-
captivated you back then?
no, I'm just talking about. Look, like stories like the Titanic.
Titanic.
Yeah.
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 Guess who that was?
But I'm just saying, like,
James
James
Cameron.
Cameron.
yeah, I know.
Boom.
But I'm just saying, like, the movies just don't. They don't have, that I'm locked in.
Oh, and
like
Guy
you got to
Ritchie.
go see it. Like even fucking Dumb and
And
Dumber.
Quentin Tarantino.
I love Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber,
Oh my
Anchorman.
gosh, it's so
Like,
good.
you know, some of those originals that
Yeah, you don't get that anymore.
You don't get that. You don't. Now they're all like, I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, like you're
Yeah.
watching the movie, you're like, oh, okay, I figured that was gonna happen or that was gonna happen.
You do the same shit?
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
It's like,
and
it's just
Jen's
corny.
always like, how do you know? I'm like,
It's predictable.
It's predictable.
Yeah.
And in a way that's comforting, you know, to audiences. But yeah, I think we're wanting more.
Wanting more,
We're
yeah.
wanting more, wanting originality. And you think we're gonna get that from AI?
I mean, but
I don't know.
I haven't seen it from people in probably the last.
From people. That's
well,
true.
can we ask you now, what is your favorite film, original film, in the last
original film
in the last 2 years that you thought it doesn't have to be your favorite, just a film you thought was good in the last 2 years that is not mainstream, it is not part of a franchise, just an original film.
Just a simple movie on its own.
Yeah.
Shoot.
It's tough.
I guess
I couldn't.
I
even
really
name
liked
one.
No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings.
The
Yeah, I
ones
mean, that was a good
mentioned.
movie. Yeah.
That one.
I don't
Actually,
think
was
I've
pretty
seen that
That
one.
one
That
was
wasn't
good.
Too.
Yeah.
It wasn't too predictable. It was
No.
very random. Like
Yeah.
Who was in it?
It was
Jennifer
Jennifer
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. You just
Yeah.
said that. Yeah.
I would agree with you
that
on
wasn't
that
very
one.
predictable.
No, it
You
wasn't.
know. So I
What
kind of liked
movie
how
is
that
this?
weaved
Yeah.
out of the. You know. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I feel like I watched. Poor Things. I really liked
Poor
Poor
Things,
Things.
yes.
Did you guys watch that?
I don't think I've watched that one.
No.
Emma Stone was in
Yeah.
it, and Willem Dafoe,
Oh.
and it was basically, you know, it
Oh
it
shit.
was a very
I have
interesting
seen this
film.
one.
Yeah, about
It was
kind of
hilarious.
Like,
It
Yeah,
was
it was good.
hilarious.
wait, No Hard Feelings or
Yeah, yeah.
No
Poor
Hard
Things?
Feelings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, Poor Things is like it's. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
hilarious. So
She
you guys
wa-
haven't seen that one?
No.
Add that to your list.
Yeah.
That's a very.
What is it? Poor Things?
They talked about it and how their prep was very theatrical. They spent like months doing like theater training and just like, you know, being in a space together and learning to support each other. And the story's so interesting. I thought it was just a beautiful movie. And yeah, that was one of those where you're like,
What the fuck?
but
Yeah.
you think about
Brought
it,
back to
you know?
life by an unorthodox scientist, a young woman runs off with a lawyer on a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudices of her time, she grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation.
Correct. She's like experiencing, you know, sexuality for the first time. So
Yeah.
basically she dies, and I think her brain of her baby, because she was pregnant when she dies, like it's imported into her own brain. A doctor does that. So she's like a newborn baby mentally, but she's actually in the body of like a 20-year-old woman.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. So you
Wow.
see her like exploring all these things at like an adult age.
Adult age.
You know? So it like puts that like playfulness, but also like very deep things that are like, yeah, when did I learn about that? Or like, how did I learn about that? She becomes like a prostitute. And it's just like these things are hilarious, but also like very thought provoking as to.
Actually, you know what? I'll say one. It was One Night in Soho. Did you watch that movie?
No.
I've never seen that one.
I thought you were about to start a story about
No,
your
no,
night.
no, no, no. I'm talking about
I was
original
like,
film.
so you guys
He's
know
emotionally recalling right now.
Yes.
Who's in it?
The chick from the chess.
Another one that I thought was a series though that was pretty good was the one where the guy dies and then he goes into the afterlife. I don't know what was that one called? You were the one that told me about that one.
Is Liam Neeson in that?
No, it's the old white dude. Fuck,
Well, anyways,
Well, that narrows it
the
down.
guy dies, and you know, and I think this could be a possibility in the future that you get like a scan of an afterlife where you can.
It's called Afterlife.
Afterlife,
Ah.
but you
It's
can
called
actually
Afterlife.
feel like, you know. Well, you can't. I mean,
What it's like to die?
yeah. Well,
Ah.
you die, and then they put you in this like luxury world. So it's like a program, but your conscious is still in that world. So you're not really dead. You're like in a.
Oh, but you're kind of living.
Yeah, you're kind of living
As you're dead.
Yeah, as you're dead.
Oh,
It's interesting. Yeah, it's a really cool
Makes
one.
you think, yeah.
Well, the whole
I
thing
love
was
movies that
about
make you think.
they were supposed to go to hell, but their whole point of it was really purgatory that they were living in was so they could prove themselves that they can redeem themselves. Instead of going to hell, they would go up to heaven. It's weird. It's really,
That's
really
weird.
that is
Another one.
another
Wait,
original
you guys
one,
need to watch
actually.
this. It's called Blink Twice. Have you seen that?
I saw that one.
Oh my god.
That was Epstein Island.
Crazy. Is that what it's based off of?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
guess that was an original thought then. That
Yeah,
was like
I
real
know.
life.
I was like,
Wait,
I was
with
like,
Channing
this,
Tatum?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that and
That
I
was
was like,
crazy.
that must be fucking Epstein Island.
Yeah.
What they do to
Fucked up
people.
one.
Yeah, I watched on the plane.
That was like Epstein
And
Island.
someone was like, what do you watch? I was like, business. It's a free movie on here, okay?
Okay, I take it back, Hollywood writers. You guys do a good job.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm still
They're not
mediocre.
blockbuster hits.
I'll tell you,
but-
I'll give the 80s and 90s movies a million times better than what I've seen out here.
I think we need to give them more credit though, because
A little bit more.
their platforms on how you watch movies now are so different, right? You've got all these different streamings and all these different ways to buy the movie. Like you could buy the movie through Prime Video and have the movie through Prime Video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard. Think about being, you know, a film writer or producer, and you're like, where is this movie going to end up? You know, like it may not end up on the big screen because that was the dream, you know, back then.
I don't even think
now
there is a
it's
big
like-
screen anymore, is there?
Yeah, go to
I
AMC
still go to the
Veterans.
movies.
Really?
Yeah,
I
go
love
to
the
AMC
movies.
Veterans.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
like a
believe-
safe space for me, for
Yeah.
sure.
Go watch it in Dolby Cinema. That's the best
I
one.
didn't even think that they were.
Dolby
those-
Cinema. I haven't been into there yet. Is it good?
Well, you go to the AMC.
The AMC, yeah.
Veterans, and you
Mhm.
go into the Dolby Cinema, bro. Oh my God, it is a
Really?
different experience. You got different sound. You have different visuals.
I love that.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Me and my wife.
I have the premiere.
We live in
Stubs.
New Tampa. And so do I. So
do?
we live in New Tampa. Instead of going to that one, we'll drive all the way over
The
here.
Veterans, right? It's
Yeah, to
so
the
good.
Veterans.
From
Because
Tennessee?
the Highwoods one's not.
The Highwoods one sucks.
Sucks.
It
It's
sucks.
got that little old vibey feel, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
like
100%. They got an old 50s car.
They have like they have like those neon lights
Oh
that's
my-
like 50s.
And all the chairs.
It's cute.
None of
Yeah.
them are retractable, so it's like,
Yeah,
And
I
then you
know.
go
We're
over there.
spoiled with that.
yeah.
I only go to Cine Bistro.
Okay,
Cine Bistro's.
sit down.
Yeah, you know, Cine Bistro's
The
decent.
the service isn't good anyways.
Isn't that one in Hyde Park?
Yeah, that's the one in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to the movies
bougie.
in years.
See, that's the thing.
That's why your
It's like
wife's
it's
leaving
almost
you.
like people aren't going. That's the thing, is like people aren't going to the theaters anymore. It's sad,
Yeah.
you know, and it affects the industry a lot as to one, too, like probably how much they care about the movie, you know,
Yeah.
and like it's being made. They're like, well, this is just going to Tubi,
Yeah.
you know, not to hate on Tubi. There's a lot of great things, but you know, it's just like that's not as big as, you know, the big screen at AMC.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever been to a premiere at AMC Veterans? Like,
Never know.
like let's
I've never
say
been either.
Captain America, Brave New World comes out on the 14th, but really they have pre-showings on the 13th.
Thursday,
If you
yeah.
go on the 14th, which is a Friday, and you actually sit down and you pick like a 6 p.m. Movie time at the Dolby Cinema, that place is packed. It is straight up packed.
You're so right, especially for Marvel.
Yeah. Now,
People
if you go-
show up.
Yeah, but if you go to Highwoods, even on the premiere place is empty. If it's a
Really?
good, yeah, it's.
I didn't know
empty.
that. You
So-
do go to the theater like that.
Oh, I go to. I'm an
Watches
AMC
everything.
A Stubs reward
Wow.
member.
You
Yeah.
need to get into this business. You know so much about it.
I love movies.
Yeah, or like agent, manager, like
No.
there's so many different ways. I listen to all the podcasts. I listen to podcasts of directors speaking how they could direct actors, or like agents, how they got into the, you know, I listen to all like aspects of it, and I feel like there's a place for everybody if you want to be in it.
Yeah.
Problem
know?
is, we're not in the state where it is something that is prevalent. So
Yet, I feel like Florida will come back.
Yeah.
Miami
was.
tried to get there, and Miami actually didn't do much, did they?
Because everybody's worried about selling
Yeah.
coke.
They've got different priorities.
I'm just kidding. Right next to the international there.
Actually, what was that Netflix one that you told me about, of the Cuban lady that came from Cuba and
Oh, Griselda.
Griselda.
Yeah,
Griselda.
Griselda.
Oh,
That was a
Sophia
good
one.
Vergara.
Yeah.
Did you
that
know
was
that
a good
was-
one.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it
I
was
heard
really
she
good.
was like, she kind of stepped out of
She
her
was
typecasting.
there. It is.
There it is.
She
Range
fucking did.
acting.
Yeah, range
Yeah.
Did
acting.
you know that was Sophia Vergara?
Of course, nigga.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm crying.
I had
They
no clue.
transformed her though. They like
She
put
had,
a bunch
like,
of
this
prosthetics
nose.
on.
Yeah, they gave her that big ass nose.
I watched a video of her process.
Yeah,
She
the
looks so
fucking
different.
family was pissed off because they said that it didn't look like. I was like, bro, did you see the original Griselda? This was a fucking upgrade. You guys got lucky. Because they should have fucking put, you know, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. You know?
I know. I think the family was like suing.
I know. They
production
were
or
like,
something.
That doesn't look like her.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
you
what the?
serious?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't look like
misrepresentation. Yeah. And I was like, bro, you guys got fucking lucky. You got Sofia Vergara.
That's like Jordan Belfort suing because Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't look like him.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
That's stupid.
Yeah, this is a hot take too, but I also think there's a lot of people who are afraid to write now because of the sensitivity of audiences. Obviously, like I'm a very like, I'm not going to touch that either. I get it. But there are some things where it's like, dude,
It's
take
common.
a joke.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
common.
you know?
It's,
like obviously there's like boundaries where you shouldn't cross. Just know that though.
Yeah.
Do your research, I think.
Yeah.
Also, it's like if you're gonna make a joke, be educated about it and know that it's a joke. Lay it out there, put it who
Relax.
cares?
Yeah.
And like
Ricky Gervais doesn't give a shit.
sensitivity.
Love you, Ricky.
Yeah. No, without a
Shout
doubt.
out Ricky.
You don't know who Ricky Gervais is?
Yeah, I know
Ricky
who the fuck he
Oh.
is, man.
You know?
No, I don't know who that is. Is he a comedian?
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Okay.
Comedian, he produced The Office.
You
I'm
still have
embarrassed that
never
I
seen
don't
the
know that.
fucking Office?
I've seen some of The Office,
Okay.
yeah. I just
Alright,
haven't
guys.
watched it like chronologically. I'll watch like these random episodes.
Do we have time for final words?
No.
No? So we'll have to do it on the next one?
No time. Aw.
Can you do one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming back for a part 2.
Yeah, part 2. All right, guys,
Oh,
and
we're
we're
still
back
going.
with Happy Hour Holidays. We kind of just
Last one.
cut it right
All
there, 10 seconds, and then boom,
You got the time, right?
it blew up.
Yeah, I got to.
22 minutes.
She says she's not charging for this session.
Yeah, this session's good. Next time we'll talk about it. I'll let my people call your people.
What the fuck?
Damn, we don't have any people.
Joke.
Does an attorney count?
No, she's got an agent. So yeah, so
Me too.
you know what? We have an agent too. Steve Fantetti with Fantetti Legal and Sports Empowerment Agency. He's a sports
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, that's sick. You guys are with them?
Yeah, well,
No, he's just a buddy of
Yeah, he's a
ours.
buddy of ours.
Oh,
Yeah, he
okay.
started. He was our corporate attorney for our business, and then he wanted to do something more, and he started the empowerment. Was it?
Isn't it Empowerment Athletics?
Yeah, empowerment athletics or athletic empower. Yeah.
Nice.
But
one
anyway,
of
so
those
now he's
two.
representing a whole bunch of because now the NIL deals and all this stuff, people are making money.
He represents NFL players and NCAA.
NCAA players, and then high school players coming up trying to get some deals from
Eventually
college.
Oh, yeah,
podcasters.
Yeah, and maybe podcasters.
Maybe
No,
Yeah.
no, he specializes in sports. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I see.
He's just
Yeah.
a friend
Okay.
of ours. Yeah.
Cool.
Amanda,
See, did you hear that? You're a friend of ours.
Amanda, have you ever thought about a movie in your head, like like kind of you think about like weird, I'm just like thinking like a movie that you kind of thought about in your head,
Mhm.
just like skidded it out in your head, like I don't know,
What do you mean?
Kind of.
almost like like I don't know, I just like back then I used to think about movies that I think, oh my god,
You can
this
make
would
into a
be
movie.
funny, yeah, like
Yeah.
like you start putting pieces together of scenes. And then you start going, oh my God, I think this movie would be fucking hilarious. So, I'm just like, I don't know if you've ever done that, but
Are you
I've
talking
done it.
do that
about
every
making
day.
one up?
Yeah, make it a movie, but
Yeah,
it's
bro. That's
this
why I
piece in your
published
head.
a book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did publish a book.
Yeah,
You
I'm
did
publishing
publish a
my
book?
second one, actually, which is
Okay.
going to be called The Broken Paradox.
That's why we call him the resume, because
Yeah.
he makes sure to let everybody know, I'm this, I'm
You
this,
call him the
I'm this.
resume. Hey, you gotta tell him.
Let him
know.
That's it.
Let them know. I feel like I do that every day. Like I'm always doing like these little things. Like I'm just like that was funny. Like I could make that into a bit.
Exactly.
Not like a movie per se. Like,
But
I
like
don't
a
know,
bit,
whole-
right?
Like a bit. I'm like that was crazy.
And
Like
that's
I
what-
feel like
that's-
someone needs to see that happen again.
And that's what,
And you write that down?
yeah. And
Right.
that's
I
what,
need to start writing it down.
But that's why I
It's
think-
Or
amazing.
type it down.
the social
Mhm.
media aspect of it could be huge for people looking to break through in the acting, because I'm just thinking there's so many it's like a free platform to put skits. you
Yeah,
know?
you're so right.
I mean,
it
I
could
just-
be. That's another thing too. Is I know I watched this YouTube video of this guy who got onto Stranger Things because somebody looked at like this little skit he made.
Yeah.
He put on YouTube.
And that's
They're
it,
like,
right?
dude, that was so good. Like,
Yeah.
and he like got his role on Stranger Things on that.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Like, create your own things. And another thing about being in this industry is like, you have to have a life outside of it, because if you're
Yeah.
sitting there waiting on news for like, if you booked it, you're gonna go crazy. You're
Yeah.
gonna, you can't define your worth based off bookings, based on the money you make from that job. It's like
It's
you
the
gotta have
quality.
things outside of
Yeah.
that. Yeah, your quality of life.
Are you just talking about additional sources of income? Is that what you mean?
I guess
No,
not totally.
she was
It
kinda
could be both.
yeah.
It could
but-
be both.
Or are you talking about
like
a social aspect?
That part too. It's everything. You want to be a well-rounded person.
Yeah.
How can you portray human characters who have experienced real life when you don't? You sit there on the couch waiting for an email,
a call, yeah,
or a call. I say email because
no, it's probably
it's not funny. It was probably calls back then.
Yeah. Damn, how old am I?
No, I'm just kidding. Well, if you book something like big, yeah, I'm sure your agent's gonna call you.
Yeah.
But like, and not saying I haven't done anything like too big, but like a Marvel, they're probably gonna call you.
Yeah,
They're
gonna call you. They're gonna be like,
yeah,
listen, you got the fucking role.
Right.
That's actually what they did with Gal Gadot when she made Wonder Woman, or got the Wonder Woman part. She was in an airplane.
She's so good in that.
Connected to the Wi-Fi, and her agent called her, not emailed her, called her, and
Whoa.
she started.
Wow.
She started
Not
like,
that old.
Well, shit, bro. I
Crazy.
mean, Wonder Woman. It's Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
Started screaming on the plane. Well, not screaming, but super excited. And the guy next to her didn't even know she was an actress.
Right.
She was actually
Yeah.
on her way back to Israel because that was her home country, and she was going to quit acting until she got that phone call mid-flight.
I love that.
Wild.
You always hear those stories, huh? When they're about to quit.
Yeah.
Just happens.
Just
John
happened.
Krasinski with The Office.
John
I heard-
Krasinski.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was about to quit
Yeah.
until he got that role.
True story. You didn't know that? Yeah.
Shit, Jim?
I also
Jim,
read
Jim
Jenna,
Halpert.
Jim
Halpert.
the girl who played Pam.
Oh,
is
yeah,
her
Pam,
name?
yeah, Pam,
Jenna
yeah.
Fisher. I
Yeah.
read her book on the actor's life, and she was the same way. It's crazy. She put all her experiences into a book, and she's like, I was just at the point where like I was done,
Yeah.
and she like. Got this little audition for
I
this
wonder how old
pilot
she
that was
was.
happening, and she was like, "I don't know what's gonna happen with this," and just is,
I love it.
But they
take
were
one
all
thing,
living. They
one
were all
role.
living in L.A. though at that time, right?
I think so. I think she was saying she was living in LA for a while. I think before she got that role.
But she did a
So-
couple other ones. She was on Dewey Cox.
Hall Pass
She was on Hall Pass, but that was after
after the
The Office. I think
yeah.
Dewey Cox might have been before. Or
I mean,
after.
John Krasinski has been by far a more impactful actor after The Office,
Oh,
and Steve Carell.
You think?
Well, name other people that have been in large movies. John Krasinski did the
That's
Jack
true.
Ryan season 1, season 2, season 3.
He also created A Quiet Place.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Quiet Place 1,
Like-
Quiet Place 2.
he created that movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he was a writer
Oh.
or
Mhm.
director or something like
What about the Indian girl? The Indian girl had a show.
that. No,
I don't know.
not anything good.
I don't even.
Yeah.
know.
Steve Carell, Kelly.
Oh, yeah, Kelly Kapoor.
Yeah, Kelly Kapoor, yeah. And then Steve Carell. You know,
But he
Steve
was
Carell
already
is-
he was
Yes.
already kind of.
No, he wasn't, bro.
He was a
nothing-
40-year-old virgin.
No, that was after The Office.
It was.
Yeah,
Oh,
Steve
okay.
Carell blew up after The Office, and then nobody wanted to cast Jim because everybody associated him with Jim Halpert.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's another thing.
and
yeah.
the same with Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight. I mean, he's played in a few movies, but I mean, he was in Sahara with Matthew McConaughey and
Rocker, the Rocker.
yeah, the Rocker guy, and then the Rocker. Are you talking about the movie?
Yeah, the movie.
The movie,
Yeah.
and then also he played the rich billionaire in the Meg, and then other than that, he hasn't done much. But these people are receiving residuals off of every time their show.
I'm good.
plays. Yeah,
Just send me the checks.
Why
I
do
don't
you
give a
think
fuck
Jerry-
about working.
bro. Can you think about a movie Jerry Seinfeld has done?
None.
I can. Frosted. It's on Netflix. It's with Melissa McCarthy, and it's
Okay.
about Pop-Tarts and Kellogg's.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, watch that
was
one.
a pretty
It's a whole
decent
movie about.
It's
Yeah,
a whole movie.
on how
no,
Pop
but
Tarts
it's
came
all about
about.
comedy. It's about comedy.
Oh,
It's
okay.
comedy, but it's based on the truth.
Yeah.
But that's the only movie he's done. And it took him how many 20 fucking years?
He probably didn't want to do anything.
I mean, he is no, I don't think he's the richest actor ever, but he's worth like close to like 500 million
I got that in my
Insane.
fucking pocketbook.
from
Yeah,
a
duh.
show.
Don't we all?
From a show. From a
Yeah.
show.
Residuals are very different nowadays too. I was just listening to a podcast and someone said that because theirs is like on Netflix, it's not the same as it would have been if it was on like a TV show.
That's
You know,
true.
so like payouts are very different nowadays too. So it's like that was like the booming time, but now it's just like
It is harder to
actors
make
are always
money.
fighting.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I mean,
they're
there
fighting
is.
for their
It's
know,
really hard
place.
to make money because of all those streaming services. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like
Well, then again, it's also providing a way to create content because Netflix comes out with movies. I mean,
Yeah, but-
Amazon Prime comes out with
yeah,
movies.
but they're probably taking a big chunk out of those shows and movies
Have you
because they're
watched-
like, you want it on our platform, you know?
No,
It's,
Right.
well, sure.
it's not like there's multiple networks
bro.
nowadays.
So, have you ever heard of the Rings of Power?
Mm-mm.
No. Have you heard of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
So the Rings of Power is a 2-season. It's been greenlit for a third, and it is a prequel to the Lord of the Rings. And that show, those individuals, Amazon is paying to be able to do it to J.R. Tolkien or whatever the hell the name is. Dude, these streaming services are still providing a gateway for actors and actresses to make a lot of money.
They're taking a lot of money too.
Now, if you're talking about like Hulu, I mean, yeah, Hulu ain't got no money.
From Silicon Valley movie?
What? Why you say like Hulu?
Well, I'm just saying.
Hulu, I feel like Hulu and Netflix are pretty, I would say so.
I used to love Hulu, but then YouTube TV came out, and then I just...
YouTube TV?
Yeah.
Really?
What? Where the fuck are you
into YouTube TV?
Yeah, I love YouTube TV.
Is that more for sports?
No, well,
no,
have
literally
sports.
TV.
But it's TV. It's like a cable. It's like it has like all the channels there like that. Once that came out, I dropped Hulu because this one was way better. But it's just like having
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Spectrum. Well, I have Spectrum. Yeah. I mean, I love Spectrum.
Well, it went from like fucking $60 to now it's like almost 100. But that's some of the
sports
how much
stuff. Do you pay for your internet?
For internet, I think like 60.
All right, so now you're really at 160.
Yeah,
that's how much I pay for Spectrum.
That's crazy. There's so many nowadays.
Yeah, but the thing is, I still have all the other ones because there's different sports on each of them, so I can't miss out.
Paramount Plus.
That's true.
You know?
Paramount Plus. Do you have Paramount?
Yeah, I like.
Do you have Have you watched Landsman?
Landman? No.
With
I just
Billy
started
Bob Thornton?
like the first 30 seconds, but I was like, I want to like actually sit and watch this. Some shows I'll like play in the background of like if I'm getting ready or not. I know it's bad, but like if I know the characters' voices, I'll just be like, I know the plot, I can hear it. You know, which is probably bad for the acting because like I like to also watch.
Yeah, see their emotion.
But there's certain shows where I'll have to sit and watch.
What's your favorite show?
My favorite show ever?
No, sure, no, yeah. Let's go
like
ever.
Right now.
Let's go ever. As long as it's within the last like 5 years.
This is gonna determine who you are.
Yes.
Stop. No pressure.
I feel like she's gonna say Stranger Things.
Oh, that's a good one. That's definitely up there.
I've never watched that show.
You know they film in Atlanta.
They do?
It's like
Oh shit.
I feel like it's so close to home. We should.
I felt like it was a show with too many teenagers, so it wasn't really something that.
You don't like the Beanie Boppers?
I get it.
The teeny boppers.
Teeny boppers.
So you guys aren't into the whole like young adult.
I actually am.
Thing.
What's the Outer Banks?
You like Outer Banks?
Well, I watched it all.
I do like the Outer Banks too.
It is so good.
Some of it is a little
jumpy.
Okay, Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
I'd cast you.
No, that one was tough. My brother told me about it, and I like started it, and I was just like,
"It's treasure hunting."
The teeny bopper part of it, I didn't care for, but the plot was so good. It was really good.
Yeah.
With the treasure,
but it's the treasure hunting. The treasure hunting is the best part about it. Yeah, you're gonna get this teen drama, but like whatever. It's all about. Oh shit! They're gonna find Blackbeard's treasure. You know, that's the cool part. That's the part.
I liked it. I liked it.
I feel like I categorized my shows by faves into like comfort, like ones you could watch over and over again, or like actual like the plot was crazy, or like you had to you have to know these characters, like, you get to know them. If it's like more of like that, like you get to know the characters and their stories, it's Game of Thrones. I feel like I could watch that over and over again.
Yeah.
The characters are so complex.
I can only watch it once, only because
but you know what?
It is so fucked up.
It is, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say that's my favorite. It is so fucked up.
No, but it's great. It's great. It's amazing.
I think like also like cinematically, like how they had like
when
all
Jon
those
Snow
people and just like all the things that
Daenerys,
went into making this show.
brother and sister.
Yeah, dude, that shit was crazy. I was like, it just touches it crosses a line.
But that's why it was so good.
Yes. Also, Euphoria kind of crosses that line, but it's also very like real. Have you guys ever seen Euphoria?
I've never actually watched it.
Yeah, it's one of those young adult ones. That's why I asked you guys if you
Zendaya?
watched. Zendaya's in it, and it just it has a lot of topics that, you know, high schoolers really deal with. Obviously, like dramatized for Hollywood purposes, but I like
Which
real
one is your
shows.
comfort one then?
My comfort show
that you
would
could
be
just like play in the background. Mine's Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
That's mine. Yeah.
Seinfeld, The Office.
Okay, mine's Gilmore Girls and Jane the Virgin.
I'm admitting this on camera. I used to watch Gilmore Girls. I'm not even kidding.
It's so good.
It's
a comfort show. It's a good like seasonal show. You know, they got their Christmas dinners.
I don't have a vagina.
Off the record.
I'm not a trans woman.
Crying, and you don't have to be. I love that you know, you can admit
It was
that.
a good storyline.
It's a good storyline.
Just like One Tree Hill.
The sentiment is One Tree Hill. I only watched that once because that one sent me. Like, I felt like I was crying every episode.
Yo, remember, I was with our younger sister. She wanted to watch this shit. I had to watch it. So, I mean,
You sit on the toilet when you pee?
Hey, I am not with that. I think you can watch whatever you want to watch. People can be in touch with their feelings if they want to nowadays, whether they're a man or a woman.
I don't know what that is.
Or other.
Or other. No.
Or other. Everybody can, you know,
There's
you can
no
watch
other
whatever.
anymore.
So to speak, I guess.
Listen, once you've watched so much, you learn that it's not about what it's about. It's about is it good? Is it good or not? You know, if it's bad, I'll stop watching it. I've turned on movies where I'll watch the first 5 minutes. I did this with Barbie, actually. I watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, I can't watch this. It was too political, in my opinion. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
That was
if that's like an opinion, it's an opinion thing, then yeah.
Yeah.
I think looking at a movie.
That was a fact.
Okay. I think looking at it as a movie.
It was demonizing men. That was their message.
Demonizing men? That's what you got from it?
From the first 5 minutes.
You didn't. I feel like you didn't. Yeah, you didn't watch the movie.
No,
and
I
shows.
didn't.
Okay.
Oh, and it shows. Damn jab to the host.
Well, that's not co-host. You're the host.
I'm not trying to get political here.
No.
But I mean, Barbie brought people to the theaters. Barbie brought people to
Barbenheimer.
Pink.
Barbenheimer.
Oh God, I hated Oppenheimer.
I loved Oppenheimer.
See, yeah, that's exactly
contrasting. Everybody can have their own opinion.
Right. And it brought people to theaters. That's what matters to the industry anyways, is like getting people to come out and watch a movie. Yeah. Right? And have these conversations.
Did you ever watch the scary movie Longlegs?
No.
Okay. I was in the movie theater. It was last year in like around Halloween. It was a horror movie. I was there for 15 minutes with me, my wife, and my niece. I watched about 15 minutes of it and I was like, let's go. This movie's trash.
I feel like a lot of scary movies can be hit or miss. There's never an in between.
What I'm saying is
it's the same shit.
What I'm saying is, you know, Barbie's not a scary movie.
Yeah, it was. It was scary.
Movie. I can identify within 10 to 15 minutes if a movie's going to be good or bad, just based on its content and who they're playing to. I may not be the audience member that they're trying to attract. That's really what it is. I've always wanted to be a film critic, but that's too much writing, and we know AI's taking that over.
That's true.
If you get anything from this video, just know writers will be gone. AI. Not my words.
Yeah, my words.
I guess so. I guess it's all like opinion based as well. You know, I like some movies that some people don't like, and I'm like, wait, I loved it. Like Black Widow. I know there was a lot of like hate when it came out, and I didn't watch it for the longest time. I went back and watched it. First of all, I love Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson, and then David Harbour was in it too, and I only knew him from Stranger Things. But I was like, oh, he's in this. And then I saw it, and I was like, wait, this is actually really good. I don't know why people hated on it, you know?
You know what the problem was? It was that it was released through, it was released in theaters for like, 4 weeks, and then went direct to streaming on Disney+. And then ScarJo lost a shit ton of money on it, sued Disney, got paid out. She never disclosed the amount because she signed a non-disclosure. They did her dirty. Because there should have been a Black Widow movie a long time ago. Everybody loves Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. She's David. Is that the Red Guardian?
Yes, he plays Hopper in Stranger Things. He's like the police officer guy. Oh yeah, you didn't watch it. Yeah.
So he was amazing, and now we got Thunderbolts coming out. He'll be in there. Florence will be in there.
I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah. Sebastian Stan, he's a really good actor too. I don't know the other two that are in there, Ghost and the wannabe Captain America. But
yeah, I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about.
He was from what was it? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah.
I just don't know his name.
But that movie was amazing. I don't know why anybody talks shit about it. And that final scene, spoiler alert, the entire Red Room was falling out of the sky, and she's got no parachute, and she's fucking flying through the sky. Bro, that's insane. She did that
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't have to watch it now.
I didn't know she had to sign an NDA about that. I didn't know about all that drama. Maybe that's why it wasn't good.
Disney?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why people were hating on it. I didn't know. But like I said, I think it's in the eye of the beholder, right? Yeah. As people say. And that's the beauty of movie making, I think, is like, hey, this could land and this might not.
So what's your favorite Marvel movie ever? I can tell you mine. Captain America,
Once
the
again.
First Avenger.
What's yours? Oh, let me tell you mine.
Captain America, the First Avenger. Now you
Captain
go.
America, First Avenger?
Yep.
That wasn't the very first one, right? With him and then... Okay.
But it was the first Captain America. Captain America, the First Avenger. It's when he's skinny and then they juice him up.
Okay. I just watched that last night.
Yeah,
I rewatched it. It was
that's a
really good.
one, yeah.
That one's so good. I think that one is really good because there's not many like different realms and like universes and things going on that you could just focus on like the main plot. Mine would be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which volume? 1, 2, or 3?
I loved 3 because I love Rocket, but I'm gonna have to go
dark.
with 1. It was really dark.
Yeah, it was. Sam
That
Raimi was the
really
director.
sad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a different director.
Sam
time
Raimi.
around?
No, it was James Gunn. It was James Gunn on that
Okay.
one. Okay, I was thinking about Doctor Strange. But yeah, he decided to go.
That one
That was actually the last movie he made for Marvel before he left to DC.
Wow, I did not know that.
What about yours?
For what?
Marvel movie.
X-Men.
X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I like Marvel,
Original.
but I'm not.
We got 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
All right.
2 minutes.
Amanda, we really appreciate you coming on Happy Hour Holidays.
Thank
What
you
do
for
you
having me.
have to tell the audience, somebody who may be aspiring to be an actress or an actor, or anything you want to tell us about the movie industry that you figured out? Tell the audience, kind of educate them real quick.
Yeah, of course. I would say pack a couple things. Confidence, delusion, and motivation. You know, you got to have pockets of motivation throughout the day. It's literally an industry of rejection. You're told no 99% of the time.
So you're like a salesperson.
So really, yeah, and get used to it until, you know, and take those yeses and callbacks and yeah, we'll see you. Take those as wins. Even if it's just little things. Even if you don't book the job, take everything as a win because yeah, rejection can be tough and you just have to you got to have that tough shell for it. And like I said, be delusional. Manifest, you know. I'm like, I picture myself on a Marvel set this year. That's how I think, you know.
Hell yeah.
I will be on the set.
The
this
Young
year.
Avengers.
I literally wrote that in my manifesting journal.
The
Young
It's in 3
Avengers?
years from now, yeah.
No way.
It's possible.
Guys, come back to this in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like taking stunt training classes.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and be prepared. That's another thing is like tomorrow you could be handed this role and it's like if you don't have the skill set or like you're not prepared, hello, they're going to go with somebody else who's ready, you
Yeah.
know? So be ready at all times.
That's great. I mean, that's the way you got to be in life. I mean, you just got to manifest it, work as hard as you can, because you can always, as long as you're on time, you're consistent, you can always outwork somebody who's more talented to you.
Exactly.
You know?
And have fun with it.
Yeah.
This is such a fun like industry too that I think people forget about it. You know, once I started learning the business side of it, I started getting a little nervous. I was like, okay, this is like a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you're marketing yourself, but just remember to have fun. It's
Yeah.
like we're literally playing pretend. If you think about it, you know, and kids do that all the time.
No, that's awesome. No, really appreciate Amanda Brown coming
Thank
in.
you for having me.
You've been
guys.
awesome. It's been a great experience,
much
you know,
fun.
talking about all the actresses, you know, movies, all this kind of
Writers,
stuff, man,
AI.
writers,
We went through
AI.
everything today.
Yeah, we went through a ton. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you out there to all the fans that support us. Peace out. We'll see you next week. Peace.